Criminal Minded here, and today I'm going to talk about a disease that's going around the black community. Well, it's going around everywhere, but it seems to be more contagious to black people. Some people call it selling out. Some people call it cooning, Uncle Tomming, Aunt Jemima, bed wench. But that is name calling. They haven't really diagnosed the disease and give it a name. When you put all those diseases into one, it becomes one name, and that name is Koonintytis. Koonintytis is a disease that's in the black community and is in the black community only, and it is everywhere in the black community. Yeah, in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Europe, in North America, in South America. You see, Koonintytis makes a person hate their own race. Koonintytis makes a person love their oppressor and their oppression. Koonintytis make a person want to pick material shit over their race. Koonintytis make a person want to pick money over their race. Koonintytis will make a person pick anything and everything but their race. Koonintytis is so contagious and deadly, it is worse than Ebola, AIDS, HIV, high blood pressure, sickle cell, abortion, black on black crime, all put in one. It is more deadly than all of them put together. Do you understand? That is the #1 killer in the black community today, worldwide. Yeah, Koonintytis make a person wanna integrate. Koonintytis make a person wanna have what you call jungle fever. But jungle fever is just another abbreviation of Koonintytis. Interracial relations, that's Koonintytis. It's a big disease going on out here. Koonintytis make a person wanna be on TV and start cooning. You know, it's a very, very big problem in the black community. You will find in the so-called conscious community. You know, Koonintytis make a person believe that black inferiority complex does not exist, and black people who are white supremacy does not exist. Koonintytis put a person in a big, great denial state. They're in denial of their circumstances on their circumstances on this planet. Koonintytis will make a person in jail feel that they're free and will start behaving likewise, even though that's not the case. You see, because Koonintytis, the disease, it got a way of making you blind while you can still see. It's one of the crazy diseases going out here, man. Oh, it's been around. It first came around when the Arabs came amongst us. You know, now it's even full-blown high-speed attack on us since the white people has came and taken over us for the past 500 years. You know, Koonintytis is major in the black community and African community. I mean, it'll make you hate. Koonintytis will make you hate your own religion, and we will take on foreigners' religion. Koonintytis will just make you be a coon, really. I mean, if you watch movies, if you watch films, you see it. You know, Koonintytis is becoming the standard of way of living within the black community, and it's becoming very acceptable to the point where black people are becoming immune to Koonintytis. It's like how you become immune to AIDS, where you cannot die from AIDS. It just live within your DNA. That's how Koonintytis is. And you know, like in AIDS or in HIV, if you got AIDS or HIV and if you have a child, they go a way where your child will not have AIDS upon giving birth. With Koonintytis, it doesn't work like that. It is so deadly that your child can catch Koonintytis while you're in the process of your pregnancy and going into labor and giving birth. There is no cure for it. Trust me. Koonintytis is so big, it is the cause of the black race getting wiped out. With Koonintytis, you see your own people more of the problem than your oppressor. That's how deadly the disease is. The disease just blinds your total existence of self. You know? And Koonintytis does not discriminate. It's not just for poor people. In fact, majority of people with Koonintytis are the wealthy, the middle class, and the multi-billionaire blacks. Whenever you see a black person with a white person as a couple, they go to Koonintytis. Whenever you see a mulatto, their parents go to Koonintytis, especially their black parent. Whenever you see a black person with all of these white man's material on him, I mean, stunting with white man's material shit, that's Koonintytis. Whenever you see a black man who's posing with money like he's a shit, that's Koonintytis. You know, whenever you see a black girl who's acting like she's better than other black girls, that's the Koonintytis. You know, whenever you see a black girl with blonde weave or weave in her head, that's Koonintytis. It's a disease out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, listen, it's such a big disease in the black community. No one has diagnosed it, but I am going to diagnose it today. Criminal minded. Yeah? You heard it here first. It's called Koonintytis. Yeah? Your mama might have it, your brother might have it, your dad might have it, your sister might have it, your girl might have it, your man might have it. I mean, everybody you might know might have it. Koonintytis is very popular. In fact, you could catch it just from watching a movie or watching an advert, watching a film, listen to a song. You just catch the Koonintytis, you know? You know, like Morpheus would say, you're a slave, Neo. Everything around you is not real. You're in a matrix. Everything around you is contaminated with Koonintytis. Do you understand? And you may think this is a joke, but this is a real story here. Yeah? Whenever you see a black person dissing black people, they go to Koonintytis. Whenever you see a black person who's not with the opposite of a black, either a female who's not with a black man or a male who's not with a black woman, they go to Koonintytis, man. It's out here, man. Whenever you see a black person who would rather go and buy a white item made and manufactured by white people than go spend money in a black item or with a black owner, there's a Koonintytis. Whenever you see anyone who put their race down, especially with black race, there's a Koonintytis. Don't get me wrong. In every race, the Koonintytis exists, but it is more predominant in the black race. Yeah? And funny enough, people who usually have a very high dose of Koonintytis, that there's no going back for them, you usually catch them on TV. 9 times out of 10, it is usually on a white man's television channel or in a white man's movie. Koonintytis make you not do for self. Koonintytis make you rely upon your enemy to do for you. Koonintytis makes you not want to take action upon your problem. But Koonintytis make you do one thing though. It makes you complain a lot. Koonintytis got an ability for you to feel like a victim, but never want to come out of your victim mode and take action. It cripples your whole nervous system, your whole membrane, your lungs, your kidney, your heart, your penis, your testicles, your toes, your toenails, your eyeball, your hair, your tentacles, everything. Yeah, it takes over the whole body and it consumes you. and it consumes you for life. That if you do not meet somebody who's conscious and aware of the situation at hand, you will pass it on for generation to generation forever. That by the time you realize you got the Koonintytis, it's too late. By that time, you've wiped out your DNA, either sexually or physically. Watch out for the disease called Koonintytis, because throughout the years, it has become more widespread. If you think AIDS and HIV is big in Africa, check out Koonintytis. Yeah? You could catch Koonintytis within 2 seconds of coming in contact with somebody with it. 2 seconds. Forget Ebola. Ebola, yeah, you come in contact with somebody within 48 hours to 72 hours, you start seeing the symptoms. With Koonintytis, 2 seconds. You know? Sometimes a milliseconds, depending on how strong the person with that dose, the person with the Koonintytis, how high the dose is in that person's system. You understand? It is very dangerous out here. You know? And the only way you can realize a person got a Koonintytis is to listen to the symptoms that I've given you. That's the only way you're going to find out who has it and how not to come in contact with them. One of the ways of not to come in contact with Koonintytis is to read about your history. That's number one. But reading is not enough. You have to take some physical actions, i.e. stop certain things around you. Because you can read about your history, but because the Koonintytis symptom is so strong, it will paralyze you from doing anything about what you've read. The most important thing that you can do to cure yourself from Koonintytis is doing things. I.e. you stop watching TV. You turn off the television, because 90% of the time the television will be spreading the Koonintytis. You don't have to come into a contact with a physical being to catch it. That's how powerful it is. You know, you have to pick what to watch, what music to listen to, and who to be around, who you bring in your circle. You have to keep your circle very small. And because of the Koonintytis disease, you can't even trust your own fucking self. It is deadly, man. It is deadly. It will make you snitch on yourself. It will make you put yourself in a hot seat. And then you realize, you say to yourself, what the fuck just happened? Only to later realize, you know what? I have been contaminated with Koonintytis. Be careful out here for that shit. Yeah? And what is funny is this. Koonintytis is a disease which can be made to look cool. It can be made to look acceptable. That you will willingly want to catch the virus. That's how deadly it is. You know? It is so deadly and so unseen that you will willingly want to be contaminated with Koonintytis. Have you ever seen a disease that got swag before? Koonintytis is that disease. There is none. No other disease can fuck with Koonintytis, man. And it's out here, and it is spreading, and it's spreading fast and vast. Yeah? Another way of killing Koonintytis, especially for your generation to come, is to make sure you have something there for your generation when they come into this world, so that they do not get influenced by people with Koonintytis. It is dangerous, you know. But once you overstand the virus I'm talking about, you yourself will start seeing and start taking action towards combating the Koonintytis. You know. Listen, even if we was to wipe out the white race, we would have to wipe out 70% of the black race, because that's how many people are contaminated with Koonintytis. I think we might even have to wipe out 90%, because once you reach a certain age, there is no turning back from Koonintytis. It could be cured, but it's better in the early stages. Usually when you're in your teenage years, you can be cured, or the process of the curing can start. Yeah, it's not 100% curable, but the process can be started where your generation will not have as much Koonintytis, or if very little, none at all. Yeah, but once you've gone past your middle 20s, it's over for you. You're a done deal. You're gonna die with this disease. You're going to die with this Koonintytis disease. There is no helping you. There is no bringing you back. You're a done deal. Sealed, stamped, approved, ready for shipment. Do you understand? So be careful and watch out for the Koonintytis, and start identifying the people with that diseases. Yeah, they're everywhere, man. You can't miss them. I guarantee you, half of your family members got it. You know. One thing that Koonintytis don't like also is race pride. So once you start having pride for your race, and I mean, when you have pride in your race in every sector of society, in labor, in politics, in war, in law, in sex, in entertainment, in sports. You know, when you start having race pride in these type of things, you will slowly start working towards diagnosing yourself from Koonintytis. Yeah? Be careful out here. Keep safe. Yeah? And start working towards curing yourself from this epidemic disease amongst the black race called Koonintytis. Anyway, you get a message. This is a national public bulletin for the black race, coming from Criminal Minded. I'm always out like I stole something. I'm out. Peace.